so the topic that we're going to talk about today is women in combat. And the point of this speech is to kind of persuade you that women in direct combat roles is a bad idea. Women in direct combat roles ultimately make the military a weaker combat force. There's two different points that I'm going to make. One, women are on average physically weaker than men, leading to combat disadvantages and lowered standards. Second, mixed gender units can disrupt cohesion and effectiveness of the military. Therefore, placing women in direct combat roles harms military performance. First point, physical differences between men and women impair combat readiness. Women on average possess less muscle mass, upper body strength, and aerobic capacity than men, and these are critical disadvantages in a combat situation. I know because I served in combat in Iraq in 2009, 2010 in Baghdad, so I'm speaking from experience. According to a study by the U.S. Army Research Institute of Environmental Medicine, women have 45% less upper body strength and 25 to 30% less aerobic capacity than their male counterparts. Combat roles require elite physical performance. Tasks such as carrying heavy packs up to 100 pounds, not counting all the other gear that you're wearing. So 100 pounds plus your body armor plus your weapon is probably about 120 pounds that you're carrying at one point in time. Dragging wounded soldiers and engaging in hand-to-hand combat demand top-tier physical capability. When female soldiers can't meet these demands consistently, units may face additional burdens or force standard adjustments. From a 2015 study by the United States Marine Corps Ground Combat Element Integrated Task Force, found that all male units outperform gender-integrated units in 69% of tactical tasks, including movement under load, obstacle clearing, and casualty evacuations. Another point is lowering the standards threatens operational integrity. Some branches have relaxed physical requirements to maintain gender parity, which can compromise readiness and safety. In 2013, the U.S. Army revised the physical fitness test to be gender neutral, but internal reports revealed ongoing pressure to maintain high female pass rates despite concerns over their field performance. So physical limitations are just one side of the issue. Now let's examine the human and interpersonal dynamics that affect military effectiveness. Point 2, mixed gender units weaken unit cohesion and readiness. Combat units depend on trust, uniform expectations, and emotional resilience under pressure. Any disruption to team bonding, trust, or communication can weaken combat performance. The RAND Corporation found that mixed gender units experience lower cohesion and higher internal conflicts than all their male units, even with the same training. Romantic entanglements, accusations of favoritism, or fear of harassment allegations can create unnecessary distractions in high-stakes environments, such as combat zones. The Center for Military Readiness warns that close-quarter combat living arrangements between men and women pose risk to morale, especially during long deployments, which I've experienced personally, how that goes. Proponents will claim that readiness is unaffected when women are held to the same standards, but the empirical data contradicts this. While exceptional women may meet combat requirements, and there are exceptional women, policies are crafted for overall force effectiveness, not the outliers. The Marine Corps' own study, again from 2015, concluded that female participants had higher rates of injury, lower speed, poor marksmanship scores than men, even after rigorous selection processes. Therefore, the point is, women in direct combat roles harm military effectiveness. Given the physical disparities that hinder their combat effectiveness, the need to lower or manipulate standards to accommodate women, and the evidence of disrupted cohesion and readiness in mixed gender units, it logically follows then that integrating women into direct combat roles undermines the strength and efficiency of military units as a whole. Conclusion, women on average are not physically suited for frontline combat. Gender integration in combat units leads to lower standards and disrupted cohesion, and therefore the inclusion of women in direct combat roles weakens military effectiveness. One final thought I'll leave you with. This isn't an issue about equality of worth. It's about function and mission. Just as every part of the body has a unique purpose, so do men and women in both theology and war. We do no favors to our military or our national defense when we confuse the two.